Welcome to the Four Brewers Podcast. My name is John Holzer, and as always, I am joined by
Jason Harris
and Tim Mather.
Unfortunately, Greg Nagel is missing in action today. He was camping this last week. Hopefully he didn't get eaten by a bear, so he is not going to be joining us this week.
Shout out, Greg. Hope you're not dead.
Yeah, dude. We are doing beers this week from a brewery out of Madison, Wisconsin, sent to us by their taproom manager and listener of the show, Josh Ruffin. These are from Working Draft Beer Company. And we've got 5 beers and, well, at least I have a cream soda from the brewery. That's a different story we'll get into in a minute. Before we dive into the beers, just want to give a quick shout out to our latest supporter on Patreon, Walter Foster. He hooked us up with a $3 per month donation or per episode donation. So we are very, very appreciative of that.
Thank you very much.
We're slowly picking up new patrons. It's like, I want to say 2 a month, which is good to see. I just ordered our patron glassware on Thursday. They were supposed to send me the proof on Friday, but they did not. So hopefully I'll have the proof by Monday, and I'll have them by mid-July. So those are underway. Hopefully we can have those out by the end of July. So if you're a supporter on Patreon, and if you didn't know, you do get the glassware that we put out every year for free, and we will be sending that out. We're going to make some new stickers and stuff to throw in with that. And hopefully get things back to normal, because this last year was just kind of a big mess with Patreon and COVID and everything else. So getting back to the normal swing of things. If you do want to support us on Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/4brewers or supporttheshitoutofit.com, which takes you to the exact same website. That being said, like I said, we're doing beers from Working Draft Beer Company out of Madison, Wisconsin. Working Draft is a pretty small brewery. They're actually working in, it says on their website, they're working in parallel at a 7-barrel brew house built by W.N. Sprinkman in Waukesha, Wisconsin. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know if I am. And they also have a one-barrel pilot brewery built by Spike Brewing in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which I also have. I have a conical from Spike. They make very, very, very nice brewing equipment. So I highly recommend them. So they're a small brewery. They've got a tap room that, they support artists and all that kind of thing. Just, your typical cool, well thought out kind of brewery. Looking forward to trying these beers. We've got quite the variety on the show. We've got a hazy. Let's see. We've got a hazy, a lager.
Did we shout out? Did I miss it? Did you shout out who sent the beers?
Yeah, I did at the beginning of the show. Again, these were sent to us by Josh Ruffin. He is the taproom manager for Working Draft. He hit us up on the Insta and asked us if we wanted some beers, and he hooked it up. We got these 2 weeks ago. I think it was around 2 weeks ago. But we couldn't get to him till this week. One was because, Greg was out, and then because he sent all 4 of us beers individually. So Greg's still out, unfortunately. So sorry to Josh, even though, Greg got the beers, he won't be drinking them on the show, but it's out of our control. So
Greg may have fallen off the Teapot Dome, though. We don't know.
What's the Teapot Dome?
That's a thing, right? The Yosemite.
I don't know. Is it?
It's Half Dome, bro.
Half Dome? What's a Teapot Dome? That's something else then.
I think that's a teapot.
There's a scandal with Warren G. Harding.
Wow. That is some interesting history.
It is a place. But yeah. Anyways.
I'm looking forward to this, and I appreciate like you mentioned, they have a tap room and the whole supporting artists and residents. If you're gonna open a tap room and you're gonna have the space, do everyone a favor and give back to the community and the arts, and just do something with all that room you have.
I agree. A lot of breweries do it. I think it's Craft and Arts on Instagram. I could have his name wrong. I don't want to open Instagram because I've got Josh's message open for the show, but he's like a traveling kind of teach you how to make art kind of thing. It's not like necessarily drawing or painting. It's a lot of the stuff he does, at least that I've seen, is like scrap book kind of thing where you cut things out of different things, put them together, and you make something cool. I know Wix Brewing Company in Riverside. They, back before COVID, they were always doing like, arts and crafts things. They'd do like a painting thing like every week. So yeah, it's really cool. It gets people into the brewery, gives you something to do, and it's fun, and you're supporting artists at the same time. So I think it's really cool. What do we want to start with? They sent a Pilsner.
Not the soda.
Well, you guys can't. Like I said, they sent us a Pilsner, a lager, an IPA, and then 2 hazies, and then also a bonus.
A crowler of rhubarb cream soda, I believe.
Yeah, and Jason and Tim both didn't put it in their refrigerator. I did.
Oh boy!
And both of theirs exploded. So this and it's a cream soda, and there's no alcohol in it. So
by exploded, I mean scared the crap out of us at like 3:30 in the morning when it blew in our kitchen, and I swear I had no idea what it was.
Yeah, I was sitting here. It was still in the box, and it was like 6 feet behind me, and I just hear, I'm sitting here doing computery things. I just hear, boom. I was like, well, that sounds like a can just exploded.
Yeah, so, I wasn't surprised to hear it. Even though there's no alcohol in it, it wouldn't surprise me if some kind of, some stray yeast or maybe some whatever floating in the air got into there and just started having a party in that can. So
mine wasn't even like it was literally just like caps open and it's everywhere.
Just popped.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really fully inspect it, but it just blew in like the bag that it came in was loaded and it leaked out onto the floor. It was gnarly, but
it reminds me of like homebrewer stories with like fermenters where like something gets clogged in the blowout tube and then the top of it just explodes and you see like beer on the ceiling because it just shot straight up. It was so full of pressure. That reminds me of.
So where are we starting?
I opened Hindsight, which is their German style Pilsner. I'm just going to do these kind of in the order that Josh sent the message because it looks like it makes sense to me. It's the Pilsner, Lager, IPA, and then the 2 hazy boys.
Ooh, I'm down for this.
Wait, you have 5 beers?
Yeah.
I only had 4.
There was 4 on a ring, and then there was an extra one floating around. So
yeah,
maybe you put
the extra was probably Thoughts and Notions because I thought we only got 4 too. So you might want to look in your fridge, Jason, because it could be in there. Unless you drank it like in the middle of the night sometime and didn't know it.
Wherever it is, it's probably not cold then. So whatever. I guess I'll go without.
Oh,
I'm here for this classic hop lineup.
Like if I missed it, it's still in the box, which is in the trash. So
I had to dig through to make sure I got everything. It was packaged real nice.
Oh, well, I hope you didn't throw it away. That's a real bummer.
All right, John. Okay. I'm gonna go check.
Okay.
We're gonna grind this shit to a halt.
We're just gonna wait.
Okay.
So what you doing, Tim?
I'm just sitting, sweating.
When are you moving?
In the process, actually going to pack some shit up today.
It's
been it's been a slow burn.
Out where you're moving to, but it looks very nice. It looks very expensive too.
Oh, did you see? Oh, I forgot. Melissa posted. I was like, wait, how'd you know?
I'm not going to dox you or anything, but yeah, you got a good view of a certain street in LA. So
yeah, it's much nicer than our current state. We decided to try and.
Are you renting or buying or?
It's renting. It's an apartment complex.
You got a good one.
Like instead of a piece of shit 70s apartment, it'll be a piece of much better last year apartment.
There's a lot of glass I saw too. Yeah.
Yeah. That's light. There's like no light in this place. It sucks.
Are you gonna like put window coverings up? Because that looks like it could be pricey.
I mean, I don't. Would you judge me more if I told you that it had automatic rollers?
Oh, cool. That's because again, I can say, okay, so the room is all windows for like a corner. That's what I'm talking about. So like, it's like, there's no walls. It's just all glass. So that would be very problematic if you didn't have anything to cover. So that's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it does.
Those aren't that expensive these days, unless you get like the really nice, I think Lutron makes ones that are really nice. They're like smart blind or smart shades.
Oh, that's cool.
Those can get really pricey. I think those start at like $600 for one.
Yeesh.
But
yeah,
IKEA,
I was just gonna say, like, having outdoor space and things like that is gonna be real nice.
You've been in your current apartment, I think, probably as long as I've known you. No,
like 10 years.
Yeah. Cool, man.
I'll do the show from the balcony. You guys can listen to the police drive by.
Is it going to be echoey in there? You think?
It will be until everything's moved in.
Right.
I found it.
I'll have to figure that out.
Oh, right.
And it's cold. We did it.
Cool. Yeah. Was it in the back of your fridge?
But that's not the one we're opening. So good.
Well, whatever. That was the loose
cold?
one.
It's not cold?
No, they're all cold. We're all good.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
We're going to start with hindsight.
The German Pilsner, right?
Yes.
Yep, I poured that one a bit ago, and whoa, is this a brilliant beer?
Yeah, we just opened hindsight, like I said, and this beer is pretty damn clear. This looks very, very nice. Like, I am digging this. It's nice to see, again, when you haven't had beers from a brewery before and they send lager and pilsner, it's very cool to see. One, the beer actually clear and looking nice, and then two, it actually tastes great.
Yeah, and it's 4.8%, which is solid, and like it's got. I mentioned this, and I harp on it. It's got a really nice hop lineup with Magnum, Tettnang, and Hallertau. I can never do the second word there.
Mittelfrüh.
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, they give a lot of information on their cans, and apparently this is chapter 5 of this beer, which I think is just like a version number, or maybe it's the 5th time they've brewed it. I don't know. Everything he sent us is chapter 4, except for this one, which is chapter 5. I think I put 4 in the show notes, but it's actually chapter 5. So
their aesthetic reminds me a little bit of Bottle Logic.
I can see
kind
that.
Of
yeah.
The art style is a little similar, like in the way the designs are laid out, which is a good thing. I think Bottle Logic has cool looking cans. So
yeah, they're really good. Clean, simple lines. Their logo for Working Draft looks like it's a hand, like with 3 fingers that make a W kind of thing.
Yeah, I really like that actually.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I dig it.
Yeah, just kind of simple and minimal. Like in the same vein, I think where like Modern Times approaches it, where they didn't go super crazy with the design. It's just kind of a similar style, and just sort of a different color background. I like their look. Yeah,
I dig it. What do you guys think of the beer? I think this is great. It's what it says on the tin. It's not too bitter for a pilsner. Like usually, I expect a little more bitterness, but it's still. Yeah,
German is kind of where you're going to ease off that bitterness, and it's not so bitey. And
that's true. Yeah,
I think that's kind of why German pilsners tend to be my favorite. It's just super drinkable, super crushable. It definitely still has a lot more hop character than you're going to get out of like a Keystone Light, but like a domestic lager, right? This still has a noticeable hop character, and it definitely has that noble hop presence to it, but mellows it out to where it's super drinkable and not really challenging. I really like this beer.
And the noble hops do have a very specific like nose and flavor, and I love that. But I think it's kind of, I don't want to say it's mellow in this. It's not overwhelming. It's like this doesn't come across as like this came from Germany. It's like got the same vibe, but just with like their own twist. So it's like you said, it's super crushable.
Yeah, it comes off definitely softer too, kind of like on the water profile, I think. Again, that kind of abrasiveness. I think it's Czech lager, or not Czech lager, but
Czech Pils,
Czech Pils.
Yeah,
that tends to be a little more abrasive, and I think that has to do with the water as well as the hops.
It's also just the IBU, right? I think Czech Pils can be up to 50. 55, I think, is the upper limit on a Czech, where German is going to be, I think, 30-ish. I'm a little rusty on my BJCP, but yeah.
I did a 5-mile run right before the show, and man, I that was a tough run. I was dehydrated, basically. I had 2 60-ounce glasses of water and then laid in my bed for 20 minutes cooling off. And then I took pictures of all these cans and got ready for the show, like in like a 15-minute span. And this is hitting the spot. Like,
Oh, I can imagine.
I didn't have any pre-show beers or anything, but oh my god, this was definitely a beer I'd have right after going on a run because it's kind of getting out of the way. It's nice and clean and refreshing, and I think it's a perfect example of a German style pills.
I don't
I'm gonna
I don't
finish this
know.
beer.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know the like the reach or popularity of this brewery, since obviously it's not one that we have know much about or go to. But so far, there's only been about 20 check-ins to this beer. So I don't know if it seems like it's fairly new
Well, that was chapter 4.
Oh, chapter 4. There it is. Okay.
So that's what I put in the notes. But chapter 5 is what we have.
I'm gonna look it up right now, really quick.
And I'm looking it up right now, and it has only 11 check-ins, and they're all unique. So
nice. Yeah, I mean they're not. They have 34,000 ratings in Untappd, so they've got some beers out there.
I guess for comparison, chapter 1 has 750, and it was added in May of 2018. So chapter 5 was added earlier this month, actually. So that would maybe explain it.
Where am I not seeing the added date?
It's so oddly, it's in the search, but not in the beer profile. I don't know why.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay. But this is just, I've already pretty much finished the pour I made for myself. Like this is really crushable.
I poured the rest of my glass, but I have additional glasses here for the rest of the beers. So
yeah, this is like I would drink a liter of this. I would drink 2 liters of this.
Oh, for sure. This is Stein worthy.
Could you imagine just having a dimpled mug full of this? Just it'd be great.
Oh yes, I'm actually going to Radiant Brewing Company tomorrow.
Ooh.
And, I'm gonna have a Stein of whatever lager they have there because they do Steins, right? They have those big glasses there. I believe they do.
Maybe.
I think they do.
I don't know. I'm actually going to be checking out a local kind of hero that I haven't been to in a while. Main Street Brewing, which
Corona, yeah.
In Corona, it's inside a pizza place, and they closed for a couple of years when the building was being rebuilt, and they were brewing their beer out of Ritual. And I'm gonna go down there and meet a friend. So
I'm not privy to all the details of that story, but their original location, it was supposed to be shut down. They were going to build another one in the same spot, and then the builder or architect or whatever, it fell through, and they said, "No, you guys are out. We're done." And so they built another place 2 blocks down, I think, on Main Street. So they're in the general vicinity of their old place, but yeah.
Oh, really? I thought it was the same place. I didn't know that there was a mix-up there. I just thought it was like they were waiting for the development to be done or whatever.
Maybe. Again, I thought they were supposed to be in their original location because the original location is right next to the bridge that goes over the 91. Like there's like a little pocket in there, and that's where they were. It was kind of weird to get to that place, that shopping center. But they're 2 blocks down from where they originally were. So, and I think it's for the better because it's easier access. They're right next to where the Fender Museum used to be, which is no longer there either, which is kind of sad. So, moving on, we are going to open Ain't Bad. Ain't Bad is a Vienna lager, and I'm pulling up the details here on the beer.
Let's see if the name stands up.
Yeah, that's a daring name, right?
It's a 5.1%.
I mean, I don't know. That's set the bar like real medium. They're like, we're not saying it's the greatest beer in the world. It's just, it ain't bad.
It ain't bad.
This is a chapter 4, and it is all Hallertau.
Oh, interesting. All Hallertau Mittelfrüh. Früh. That's a fun word to say. Früh.
Ooh, darker. I like
Wish
it.
you wouldn't.
Früh. What's this look like?
Much
it is
more
looking
amber.
Yeah. Compared to Hindsight, which I'll put these side by side for those watching video, you can definitely see the difference. Definitely more on the caramel orange side. It looks more dramatic on camera than it does in real life, but
I know it's
definitely darker.
I know the Vienna style part of it is going to make a lot of difference, but you can already, just taking a whiff of it, it already comes across far more of that like Bavarian Bavarian hop aroma, and it is awesome.
This one too, though, is super brilliant, just crystal freaking clear.
Yeah,
like it's got more color to it, right? So it's tinted a little darker brown, but man, is this a clear beer?
Yeah. Again, good sign. They either know how to find very well, or they have a filter and they're utilizing it well. 7 Barrel Brew House, I would think they just have a filter and not like a centrifuge kind of thing. That's something I think not necessarily bigger, but more advanced breweries would have, because I think centrifuges are pretty damn expensive, and they're
Yum. This one's definitely brighter. I mean, I say flavor. When you say brighter flavor, like I feel like you guys are going to get it. Just it pops more on the flavor profile. It doesn't have any sort of hop bitterness that you were talking about, like with a Czech Pilsner style.
No,
it's very smooth. It's you get the flavors and a little bit of the hop up front, and it's just freaking mellow and yum.
And it's got like a sweet, like that squaw bread kind of finish there. That just kind of not sugary, but like a little bit of sweet brown bread, and just right on the end of your palate to kind of give it a little bit of variety. Where the first one is just very crisp and has a bit of hop to it. I would say the hop is more muted in this beer, and it's more of a malt lover's experience, which isn't to say that there's no hop in it, but it's not as much. It would be kind of like, I want something a little bit less hoppy. I like more malt. Mm-hmm. This beer is like a brother of that beer that would be for someone who wants something a little more malt forward.
I agree. This is just as thirst quenching and refreshing as the Pils, but in a more like chewy, bready kind of way. You get I wouldn't say it's as crushable. I definitely go to the Pils after a run before this, but it's still pretty damn refreshing. It's still very, very clean, very tasty. It's not too heavy on the darker malts, the caramel malts. It's just enough to give it a kiss of sweetness, and like Jason says, some of that kind of squaw bread savoriness. It's very well executed. So far, these, I mean, if their IPA is just as good as the Pils and Lager, like, we're in for a treat with those, because this is really, really good. No hype. This is really good.
Yeah, these are. I would say they're pretty down the middle for style wise. Like, they are what you would expect out of Vienna Lager, or that was what this one is, right? German style Vienna Lager and German style Pils. These are right on, right? Like, these are brewed exactly to style, and they're done really, really well, really clean, like reference versions of these beers. They're not like, we put some eggs in it. I don't know, like.
Yeah, they're not overthinking it. They're sticking to the style, which is. We've said it before, brewing styles of beer, like lagers and Pils, they're not easy, and they don't necessarily need any kind of spin on it. And I think if you do put a spin on it, maybe you make a hoppy version of a Pils, a Vienna Lager. I don't know if you'd really want to mess with that at all. Like, it's because for what it is, you could go too bitter or too malty real quick. You could really mess it up. So
it's also a beer that the person ordering a Vienna Lager doesn't want you to get fucking cute with it.
That's actually true, because that's a style that if you're ordering the Vienna Lager, you're either like some shit about what's going on, or somebody recommended it to you because of maybe their thoughts on your taste.
Right, like, it's a classic style for a reason, and people ordering classic styles like that, they don't want to be like, are there fucking crunch berries in this? Like.
Crunchberry Lager.
Yeah, they don't strike me as a brewery. They don't strike me as a brewery that would put weird things in beer like that. And just by what we've had so far, like, coming out the gate with a German Pils and a Vienna Lager, like, yeah, not to say that they wouldn't. I mean, why not? I mean, it's fun to do that kind of thing, but they don't seem like a gimmicky kind of brewery.
Yeah, looking at their top beers, they're IPA focused, which is good, because so am I.
I would say, if I have to if I have to pick one thing, and maybe I'm wrong about this because I feel like a lot of these beers aren't heavily carbonated, but I feel like maybe I could use a little more bubbles in mine, and that could just be my pour or my can. So I'm not going to necessarily say that that's a negative.
I'm not going to say that it's undercarbed as far as mouthfeel. I think they're fine. It's just the head retention that's off. Which head retention with lagers and pills, that's tricky. I mean, because it's all about the malts that you're using to promote a long-lasting head. Where with like ales, IPA especially, like you can get that from the malts that you're using. And for Vienna lager and pills in general, there's not much there to work with, and so your head does suffer because of it. So I mean,
well, while we transition, well, you're going to finish that. I was going to say, while we transition to the next one, why don't you give a little reason why head retention is important?
Well, it helps with the overall presentation of the beer. I think when you get a beer, it works both ways, right? If you're going to a place that just uses tumblers and it's a standard glass you're going to see at a bar that's just like a cone, and they fill it to the brim with beer, it's not necessarily bad. A lot of people want that because they want as much beer as they can get in that glass as possible. But if you're, pouring it the way you should, where you're leaving a little space for a little airspace, and then you got head, and then the beer itself helps with the presentation. It helps with smelling the beer because a lot of those aromas are released from the liquid and in the foam itself. And again, it's more of a visual thing. It's like what you're getting into, and it looks tasty. That's how I look at it. I just found out about this other thing.
It's just like they put whipped cream on a milkshake. It's just to give it like variety.
I saw it on Pints and Panels. She drew a picture of different pours. I think it's from, I forgot what country it's from, but there's something called a milk pour, I think, where basically the pour is 90% head, and then there's just like a little bit of beer at the bottom of the glass. And she drew this, and I'm looking at this going, why would anyone want that? And apparently it's an actual thing that breweries do, like the milk pour, where it's like 90% head. That's something you'd get as like a nightcap kind of treat, where you don't want a lot of beer, you just want the flavor and a little bit of alcohol. It's really weird.
This sounds like
awful.
Me desperately trying to justify why I can't dial in my homebrew draft setup. Like, oh yeah, so I just gave you a milk pour, man. Just wait for it, I guess, or whatever. It's on purpose. It's totally on purpose. It's not because I can't figure out how to pressurize the lines.
Yeah, I'm almost positive it's a milk pour. Is what it's called. But there's different pours for different amounts of foam, and I happened to see it from another guy that works at a brewery too, and I'm just like, when did this become a thing? Apparently it's been a thing for a very, very long time. So I just learned about it. Okay. I don't think I'd ever want one, but
it's
a thing.
It's been around in traditional Czech pubs since the 19th and early 20th century. It was served as dessert.
They just put their thumb over the tap as they're pouring it, just like
it's Mliko. MLI with a little accent KO. I'm finding this information on Pilsner Urquell's website.
Yeah, that's where I was looking too. Yeah.
Tim just died.
I forgot to plug my power cable into my laptop.
Yeah. You need that.
Yeah, it just warned me, and I was like, oh shit. Anyway, okay, so yeah, it's a bunch of foam with a little bit of beer at the bottom. You're supposed to drink it as a shot, like all at once. It's supposed to be a little bit sweeter, more of a dessert thing. Very traditional. That's interesting. I've never heard of that. Thanks, John. You let us down to more beer history.
And there's 3 different types of pours for 3 different levels of head. It's kind of like if you want to get a half pour in like a Stein glass, but you don't want to have the Stein empty at the top. So they give you half a pour and then cap the rest with foam. So technically you're getting a full glass of beer, and the foam is just kind of like a treat on top of the beer at the bottom. Which doesn't sound like a treat to me, but
there's a reason it's a dessert, because you have to have it at the end of the night when people are already drunk. So that way, when the keg's running out, the bartender's just like, Oh, it's a milk pour. It's meant to be a thing. He's like, this milk pour is the best.
We did it on purpose. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. So
It is.
moving on, we're getting into the IPAs. We're moving on to Pulp Culture. This, according to Josh, is their flagship IPA. And just looking at the can here and on Untapped, I think it says the same thing. It's made with, okay, so this is chapter 4, and the hops on Untapped are a little different. On the can, it says Sultana, Mosaic, Amarillo, and Enigma hops. And this is 6.1% alcohol by volume.
I think chapter 4 in Pulp Fiction is when Bruce Willis runs over Marcellus Wallace with a car.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I just made that up, but
it makes sense.
It's my best guesstimate of what I don't think they gave them chapter numbers in that.
Yeah,
movie.
Is it really chapter 4, or is it like scene 4? Like, because that chapter, how Pulp Fiction works.
They do have those breaks though, where they do title them. I'm not sure if they're numbered, but there are definitely like title cards that come up between the different sections.
So Tim's already shown this beer. It's got some head on there, definitely. Which is good to see on an IPA. If I get an IPA where the head burns off really quickly, that's very disappointing. So
it's hazy but not murky, which is good. It's a good distinction to make.
It died down pretty fast, but the aroma is nice.
And let's see. Let me check my notes here from Josh. Let's see. This was on June 5th. The first 4 were all canned this morning. So the first 4 beers, which Pulp Culture is one of them, they were canned on June 5th. And then Thoughts and Notions, which is the last beer, was canned on May 25th. Or I'm sorry. Was this in June? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So these are all relatively fresh. It's June 26th, though. We're going on 20 days old, which is, in my opinion, perfect. So especially for an IPA.
Yeah, that's not relatively. That is just fresh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This smells fantastic. Woo!
I have never had a
citrus
Sultana hop. Have you?
I think we have. I don't document the hops on the website, although that would be really cool to do.
We should add that. I can help.
Yeah.
If you need.
Oh, yeah. That'll take a while.
It would take a while.
And then
I make it a point.
Hops too.
I make it a point to list all of the beers on the blog post so we can quickly search the site to see if we've had the beer before. But
this is
hops
apparently
would be a whole new level.
It's one of Hopsteiner's most popular experimental hops. Gets a name, Sultana.
Cool.
Enigma balls.
It's the parentage of Sultana is 50% Nugget, 25% Zeus, and 25% USDA male. Which, whatever that means. I don't know shit about hops.
I'm sorry, what?
USDA male.
They mixed 2 hops and a steer.
It's got an earthiness to it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Apparently, it's been used in some stuff from Trogs, Lamplighter, Indeed, Lakefront Brewing. So a few different places that have some.
Interestingly, all east and middle of the country breweries also.
Shoot, that's a good point. They list the places. So you got PA, MA, Wisconsin, Illinois, Minnesota.
Yeah, none of those are farther than the Midwest.
Huh, interesting.
The nose on this is really good. A lot of like bursting citrus fruit on the nose, candy character on the nose as well. Really vibrant, and you don't really have to hunt for anything. It's jumping out of the glass.
There's like an undercurrent of dankiness on there too.
Yep, I think they actually dank is the first descriptive word on the can.
I would say that too. Yeah, I do get kind of like a heavy like danky syrup kind of nose on it. Yeah.
It's really piney on the palate. When you drink it, it's not quite like an old school sea hop beer, but it definitely leans kind of that direction. There's a lot of kind of earthy, piney characters going on in the background, I think.
I get sugar crystal pine on the flavor on this. This comes off, I think they nailed it with the kind of fruity, piney characters and the sweetness on this beer. Not like sweetness as far as body goes, but actual sweetness. It comes off like candy. It comes off like sugary pine cone, I think.
But I feel like candy might give a connotation of too much sweetness because you mentioned like a, kind of hitting it right in like a sweet spot, not literally sweet, but I feel like this is a really good like center point between it's not a hazy that's going to be like citrus sweet like in your face, and it's not like hoppy piney like a West Coast sort of thing. I feel like this is a really nice middle ground, and it's really enjoyable because I'm not getting pulled. I'm not really getting overly pulled either direction.
Yeah, I was again. I didn't want it to come off like it was like a candy, like tasting IPA or like something that is made with like lactose sugar or something.
Yeah.
It's just it came off sweeter than I was expecting in a good way. It's again, candy is what comes to mind because you do get like it's just an underlying sweetness to it. That's the only way. It's like candy sweetness. It's the only way I can really describe it.
Yeah, overall though, I think it is definitely an East meets West IPA. It is not fully into that like super sweet hop schmear. It does have a little bit more hop character. It doesn't really have a lot of bitter that I'm getting. Me, my palate sucks at bitter, but I have a high floor for bitter, but it does have more hop character than your average hazy IPA, and isn't leaning in heavy on sweet. And I think I could see why this would be a flagship beer.
Oh, for sure. I was just literally thinking that, like, 100%. Like, I can understand that. Like, this would be a go-to for sure, because you're gonna get both sides of that. We always talk about like, oh, well, there's like the hop lovers, and then there's I want an IPA, but I hate hops and bitter. And this, I feel like, kind of just marries those two together.
This is a great beer to call your flagship IPA or your, I don't know, flagship hazy IPA, because it really is the best of both worlds, the best of like what a West Coast brewery might do and what like Treehouse might do. Bitterness is just enough to where it kind of lingers as you let it sit after you take a sip, but it's nothing that hits you up front. It doesn't like wallop you on your palate. Like it's a very well made beer. I'd be very proud of this beer if I made this beer. This is really tasty.
I'm still drinking mine, so I got nothing to say. I'm just trying to drink beer. And we have two more IPAs, right?
Yeah. Let's see here. So moving on from pulp culture, we're going to be opening bold font all caps. This is another hazy IPA.
This is when you get lazy with your beer naming and you just start labeling it like what your graphic editor is saying.
I think it's more the label designer misheard them. They're like, all right, what do you want to put for the title? Bold font, all caps. Got it. Okay.
Yep. And they're like, print it.
What's that shirt that Finn McKenty has, Jason, where it says impact font, edgy impact font, whatever is the shirt he has. I don't know if you've seen it.
I've seen it, but I don't remember the name. Yeah. I don't remember exactly what was on it.
It's a dig on the
good channel though, by the way. Check out Punk Rock MBA on YouTube, everybody.
Yeah.
He's not paying us. But also you should check out Raid Shadow Legends. They have with so many great characters and all this other shit. John, do you cut out when I do podcast promos?
No.
When I do ads in the podcast for things that we don't get paid by.
Well, it's context. Not generally, no. It's funny. I like how Finn does his commercials for Raid Shadow Legends are just totally serious. He's like, they just introduced these new characters. I'm playing the game. Let's clan up and let's do this shit. He just owns it.
Have you ever watched Internet Comment Etiquette?
No.
He does commercials, and his commercials are like a 5-minute skit. Like, and they're great. Like, the commercials are as good as the rest of the content. It's really funny, and it's just like for like Raycons or whatever.
Yeah, there's a Nintendo Switch, or I guess it's a video game channel in general, but he's very Nintendo centric, called the Wolf Den, WULFFDN, and he goes out of his way to. I want to say it's like 75% of his commercials are things that he sets up and does himself, and it's a bit that you actually want to watch, which I think is a really good way to do. I mean, the way Finn does it, where he just promotes the game, that's one thing. But if you want to go out of your way and like do a skit, I'll actually watch it, and I might actually look into the product. So
I was going to ask, since you brought up like podcast ads, or I guess that you're talking more YouTube, but like, I feel like there's two ways to go about it. There's the literally like, we're going to cut to commercial break and here's a commercial that we're going to read. And then there's the like, we're going to keep talking, but kind of like segue into the commercial about the thing that we like, and then segue out.
Yeah, that's what Marin does, right?
That reminds me that there's two ways that you can browse the internet: completely unprotected or with NordVPN.
Brilliant. Say it exactly.
And if you have an iOS device, you don't need to pay for that shit because Apple's going to give it to you for free. So I'm already using it. Private Relay. It's pretty nice. Apple doesn't see your data, and the tunnel they're using doesn't see your data either. So
I don't use a VPN. I don't care if people see where I'm going. Fuck.
I didn't either, but if it's going to be included for free on my iPhone, then okay, I'll take it.
All right, let's go. Bold font, all caps. There you go.
Bold font.
Yeah. You've got a better.
That's a bold font lie. Get it? Bald face lie.
Yeah. Typography.
There we go. Lorenzini. Edgy slogan in impact font. That's what's on the back of Finn's shirt. It's great. By the way, what's up, Phil? Haven't seen you in a while. Okay, we're the deets on bold font, all caps. This is 6.4%, and this is made with Citra, Simcoe, Eldorado, and Sabro hops.
Sabro.
That's how you have to say Sabro.
Wait,
Sabro.
You like? Wait, do you both, or is it you, John, that particularly likes Sabro?
I don't have an opinion really on Sabro.
I thought somebody in here was like a huge Sabro fan.
No. What was that beer that
it's Strata.
Strata.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Yeah.
Because I recently this will lean into like unpaid ad territory. I recently I don't know if you've heard of Hoplark. They make hop tea, like carbonated hop teas, and they started doing hop water. And I ordered a few cases, and I liked it so much that I now have an auto ship renew.
Wow.
And they recently did a Sabro variant, which was really, really good.
Have you had the Lagunitas hop water?
I have not yet.
Okay. Maybe get a 6-pack sometime and then compare it to the hop water you're getting and then get back to us, because the Lagunitas, I liked it overall. Because I've had other hop waters where I'm just like, this is just like weird tasting water. So
for a while I was getting the like H2O hops. I think they're out of Long Beach. But they were also like glass bottles, and I had to get it shipped in big packs. And so now this place is the one that I'm getting now is out of Colorado, but their big thing is they do like hop tea. So it's like green tea and like a certain hop, and they mix it together and carbonate it. And anyway, sorry.
Okay.
I really like it. So if you're looking for hops in your water.
Quick aside, Nagel just pointed out that we agreed to do the show tomorrow.
Oh, damn. That's totally my fault. I totally forgot about that.
Sorry, Greg. We fucked up.
Yep. You are in the clear, Greg.
All right. Well, I'm glad he didn't get eaten by a bear.
Yeah. Making an appearance in our private Discord chat. Greg is alive. So apologies to Greg and to Josh. I totally flubbed that. Whatever. Sorry. I'm going to Radiant tomorrow, so that wouldn't have worked anyway. I don't know. I'm going there because Robert French is in town. I'm just saying. There's an important reason why I'm going to Radiant. It's not just to go to Radiant. Although I would just go to Radiant to go to Radiant, but I'm going there because Robert's in town. Radiant.
All right. Bold font.
I feel like I need to reintroduce this beer.
Yeah. Fresh take. Take two.
So, what do we think about bold font? To me, this looks very, very pale compared to the previous beer, the Pulp Fiction or Pulp whatever it was.
Culture.
Culture. There you go, Pulp Culture. This comes off very, very like pale yellow. Head, pretty quick to dissipate, but it's not bad. It's nice and fluffy when it was around.
This has a smoother, lighter aroma, a little bit more sweet, I think.
Yeah, I think they're using more modern hop varietals. Like, there's nothing in there that's giving it like a super earthiness. Like, Simcoe is probably going to be our most danky hop in this bunch.
Yeah, I think it still has that kind of candy-like character on the nose for me. Just kind of like a sugary, kind of hard sugar pine smell to it. But it's way more subtle. It's not as like not as fruity, not as citrusy, but still smells very, very good.
Yeah, this one is it's interesting. It's a different flavor profile than the other beer. I'm trying to decide which one I would rather drink. It's but it's a toss up. They're both fun in different ways.
I think the Pulp Culture, I think it's a fuller beer. It's more rounded. This one seems a lot lighter. It dissipates a bit more in terms of flavor and just I think this one just this one feels a little too mellow to me. Like it's just kind of like, oh,
Really?
okay, this is maybe I'm just kind of carrying over like the from the Pulp Culture, but this one just kind of seems a little more to me.
There's more depth to the hop profile, I think, in the Pulp Culture. There's kind of some dankiness, some sweetness, some there's like an earthiness at the end. Where this one's a little bit more one note. It tends to be kind of more in the tropical flavors, which is not bad, but it's just that's kind of the difference here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think the boldface compared to the Pulp Culture, the Pulp Culture is more grabbing. Just putting them side by side. Having Pulp Culture on its own, I wouldn't say this, but putting it up against the bold font, all caps, the Pulp Culture is more gripping and I would say a little more harsh and maybe even a little more bitter, which is good because for it being their flagship, I think that's what I would want in a flagship hazy. But again, this is the thing with hazies, right? It's difficult for hazies to stand apart from one another. And I think if you compare these directly side by side with one another, you can taste two different hazy IPAs, and that's a good thing.
Well, and like I said, I think the Pulp Culture I described as like an East meets West kind of beer. It's not just a hazy IPA. It's got a little bit more of a bright hop character, where I would say the Bold Font is more of a traditional hazy IPA. So
I agree.
It's just more if you want something that's a little bit less challenging, a more just in the hazy zone. It's still not a super sweet beer, which is good in my opinion, but
I agree. I posted a picture
more of a traditional hazy
on the video stream. I posted a photo of someone on Untapped who took a photo of their flight, and you can see in that photo just how light this beer is. It's almost white, like it's a very, very, very pale yellow. It's interesting how white it is. So.
I think Jason hits it right on with saying like it's more in that like citrus, hazy sort of standard, as opposed to this Pulp Culture, which, like we said, is kind of feels hybridy. If I were to be in a situation where we talk about like, well, I want an IPA, but I hate hops, like this would probably be, that zone that you would go to, because it's not overwhelmingly sweet. It's not lactose. It's not over the top citrus. It's a really nice tropical, I kind of like bright pineapple-y sort of citrus with just the right hit of bitterness to mellow it out.
Yeah. I think, both Pulp Culture and Bold Font, all caps, they're both very well executed beers. Like, I'm very impressed so far. We haven't had a bad beer yet from Working Draft. So,
yeah, these are all really high quality, and I mean, I'm assuming it's kind of a younger brewery, but I realize I'm just assuming because why would I have heard of a brewery in Wisconsin being on the West Coast if we're not from there? I'm curious how long they've been around.
I'm looking on their website, and it doesn't really say. They talk about their brewery, their tap room. They don't give much on history. They talk about their beer.
The copyright on their website says 2018, so I guess they've been around since at least then.
Yeah, let's just say 2018. That makes sense.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So we mentioned earlier Strata hops when we were confusing them with Sabra hops. And our next beer, Thoughts and Notions, is all Strata hops.
Yes, it is. I am very much looking forward to this beer. Let me see if he gave us any notes on this beer in our Instagram DM here. Thoughts and Notions. Okay, nope, he didn't. So yeah, this is Thoughts and Notions. This beer is 6.3% alcohol by volume, and it's made with just Strata hops. And this is chapter 1, so I'm assuming this is their first version of this beer that they're releasing to the public. I'm looking forward to this because, yes, Strata hops are pretty incredible. You can't really fuck up a beer with Strata hops, I say as I pour this beer into my glass.
I'm curious what Thoughts and Notions is like. Like I don't hear those two words together often. I mean, I guess they're isn't it both kind of the same thing? Like a thought and a notion are kind of similar.
Isn't it? Maybe.
Let's have a philosophical debate on the difference between a thought and a notion.
Let's see. A notion is a belief or an opinion.
Are you looking for it already?
Or a mental image, or an impulse or whim.
All right.
A thought is just a thought. So a thought and a belief or opinion, a thought and a mental image, a thought and an impulse, a thought and a whim.
Huh. All right.
It's very transcendental.
There is a nice foamy head on this one, at least for me. It's foaming up good.
I didn't pour very hard, but yeah, it's got a nice head on it. These heads were all very similar. Very tight-knit bubbles, nice and frothy, which is what I want to see. It does hang out after I agitate it and let it sit.
Really nice aroma. Just kind of has a bright, not tropical fruit, but it's just kind of fruity.
Of the three, I think this has the least impact on the nose.
Yeah, you're right. You have to kind of hunt out the aroma in it a little bit.
Man, the pulp culture, going back to that, dude, the nose still pops on that beer. I don't know if you still have a pour of it, but man, that nose, the dank. Now that I let it sit, man, that I can really get that dank character from the nose.
Oh man, the dank, the dank.
Yeah, I'm kind of hunting for aromas on this, on the nose. I don't think it's an age thing either. I think it's just that's how it is with the beer, which for Strata, it's kind of disappointing.
Worth noting, I don't know that I've had a single hop Strata anywhere. It's always blended with stuff.
That Cellar Maker was a blend?
Mo Strata. The Mo is from Mosaic.
Mosaic, that's right. All right.
Yeah. So, and generally, I actually see that pairing a lot, Mosaic and Strata. And I'm wondering if maybe that's why we don't see it in a single hop that much, because maybe it has, it's helped along with other hops with aroma or maybe some.
I could see that because even on the flavor, this is the most refreshing of the three IPAs, I think. We're kind of going down as far as extremities go. So the nose and flavor on the pulp culture, I think, was the most extreme. Like very impactful nose, more of a bitter, abrasive edge, very kind of West Coast centric for a hazy. The bold font, all caps, kind of the next step down, where still fruity on the nose, but less abrasive on the palate and less sweet, I guess. And this one is just kind of the next step down, where it's just like more mellow on the nose, more mellow on the flavors. Just sit back, relax. If it's really hot outside, this seems like the hazy IPA. Hazy IPA I'd go for. I'm sorry, I have a lot of gas right now too. That's why I sound weird. I want to burp.
Quick, get it out before.
No,
I'm
carry
actually the
on.
same, but like Tazon Day, I move away from the microphone. So
Oh, yeah, I remember that was always my. I think about that every time I move.
Chocolate rain. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
that's not how you do it. You can just breathe.
Maybe you
Anyway.
can. Are you Tazon Day? I'd like to see you.
No, I am not. So
I would like to see you record an entire video of you singing Chocolate Rain.
okay, that might be fun.
Like with chocolate, like you drink a whole Chocolate Rain beer and then you sing Chocolate Rain.
I have chocolate rain. I'm looking at one right now. So
Who's
After
by?
that, what is it? 18%.
it's Black Tuesday territory. Yeah.
You
Wait,
finish
is it brewery?
Yeah. It's like a kind of like a chocolate Black Tuesday, if I remember right.
They changed
Jesus.
the name of Chocolate Rain, RAIN, to Chocolate Rain, REIGN, which I like more. That is a really cool name for a beer. Chocolate Rain, like with that spelling, I think is way better than Rain. They're both equally cool, but the Rain sounds more like chocolate, the rain of chocolate. Yeah. You know what you're getting into. Anyway.
I mean, personally, I'd rather be under a cloud of chocolate raining on me than
It's
in
rain
control.
and chocolate.
So yeah, again, thoughts and notions. What are your thoughts and notions about this beer?
It's the mildest of the three by far.
It still smells great, I think.
It's
Like,
only 6.3% alcohol, which is pretty mild for an IPA. It's borderline into pale ale status.
It's highly drinkable.
It's a very drinkable beer. It's got a good hop character to it. Although actually all these beers are fairly light in alcohol.
Mhm.
6,
I was gonna say,
6.1, 6.4, and 6.3. None of them are over
We didn't
7.
go over the 6 range.
Which I appreciate, honestly. Like, you don't need 8% alcohol to make an IPA good. In fact, it makes it worse. So you don't want it to be super thin. 6 to 7, I think, is really the sweet spot for a hoppy beer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think. I'm sorry, I just sneezed like twice. I'm going through some shit right now.
I would say the one thing I wish I would have gotten to try from these guys is like a straight ass West Coast IPA.
Yes. Yeah.
Just because I think they're doing hops really well. They did clear beer really well. Like, these clear beers are brilliant and really, really drinkable. And I would love to see their take on a West Coast IPA. Hint, hint.
I mean, they say on their website that they do their take on traditional styles like "quote unquote" West Coast IPAs. Like they say literally on their website that they brew those styles. So I don't doubt that they'd be good. I mean, if their hazies are this good, I mean, I don't know the brewer. I don't know anything about the people that make this beer and make the recipes, but it seems like they're very well rounded and they know what they're doing.
I know that their taproom manager's got really good taste in podcasts.
Yeah, that's true. I've heard the same.
Yeah.
And he's a very, very attractive person.
I've beautiful
heard that
man.
too. Yeah. So, Josh, thank you for the beers.
Yes.
These were all fantastic. Should I open the cream ale?
You should while we're doing it, just because
Just to see what happens?
The cream soda. Yeah, actually, I really
Please.
want to know like what's going on in that.
I think I'm gonna go wide with the camera, just to see if like anything happens, so everyone can see what's going on. So I'm gonna get it.
John's gonna get sprayed.
So this is the Crowler. This is 32 ounces of soda, and it's made with rhubarb. It's a cream soda. It was canned on June 5th. There's the can. And you can see on the back here, it says 0% ABV. All right, here we go, guys. Okay. So it didn't explode. Definitely a hiss. Okay.
I was
It looks
expecting.
fine. There's just a little bit of foam crawling out of the top, like you would with a soda. It looks normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we would have kept ours in the fridge, we would have had a fucking IED in our room.
Yeah, what's wrong with you guys? Jesus.
Don't have room, bro.
Yeah, my fridge is full.
All right. I
put
don't have
these
an empty
beer-
glass.
I put these beers in like 2 days before the show.
Jason, come on, dude.
John's camera setup is sexy.
Isn't it?
Especially a Crowler. I have a dedicated beer fridge here, but if it's taller than a 16-ounce can, it won't fit.
Okay, I'm pouring the cream soda. Oh, yeah, there's something in there because that's a lot of head.
It's very fizzy. Super fizzy.
Huh. I wonder if this is infected. It's got a funk to it. Like, it smells funky on the nose. I was expecting like a sweet kind of rhubarb smell, and I don't get that. I get some funk.
Well, if you think about it, if you're crowlering a soda, there's so much sugar in there. It's not just whatever residual unfermented sugar. It is a sugar bath.
You almost have to pasteurize it, right?
Yeah.
So just to assure that nothing happens inside there, or be very, very clean with your canning process, or when you're making it. Like, soda's tough. It's I know Packing House in Riverside, they always have a soda on tap, but it's on tap. They're not selling it. So if it gets a little bit of a bug in there, or some yeast floats in or finds its way into there, like maybe you're going to get like 0.23% alcohol in there if it does ferment out into a keg, but you're not going to notice it. Where with the cans that Jason and Tim got, leaving them out under ideal conditions, like 70-degree temperatures.
It was fucking hot too. So yeah,
it's perfect for fermentation. So,
damn, that's a really valid point. I didn't even consider that.
Yeah, like I said, I put mine in the fridge, and when I pulled it out to do the show, like, I expected it to have some chonkiness to it, like, because it is a soda, so they're going to carbonate it. Like, you're not going to get flat soda, but it felt a little too chonky. Like, I was like, okay, this may blow up. So it didn't, though, but it definitely has a funk on the nose. I don't know if I'm no expert with like rhubarb, but it smells more funky than it should. I've had beers made with rhubarb, and they definitely smell more sweet, kind of like strawberry-ish, because you typically use strawberry and rhubarb, I think.
Yeah,
typically.
There was that Rubios, I think is one of them, and I can't remember who makes that. It's Colorado brewery.
Yeah, but it's that funk, though, is actually very nice. I like it. It's a sugary, fruity funk. Let's see what it tastes like. Oh, guys, you're missing out. That's good.
Damn.
Oh,
really?
Boy. That's really cool.
Because traditionally, you got cream soda, you're looking at like vanilla-y sort of flavor.
It's got vanilla, definitely. Vanilla. The fruity aspects are very low. Super high carbonation. I don't know if that's intentional or because something actually fermented inside the can to boost up the carbonation. Typically, soda is, it's got a higher dissolved CO2 number than beer. Like, I think beer is usually around, I can't remember the numbers. I want to say, I can't remember. Soda is like twice or 3 times the amount of beer. Like, it's got to be heavily carbonated. That's why it's so prickly and like effervescent. And this has that effervescence.
It helps balance the sugar and the sweetness, right? You have that
right.
prickly CO2 character there. It gives it a little bit of a burn, that little CO2 burn, and that prickliness that kind of balances off the fact that most sodas are just 50% sugar.
I gotta say, this is fantastic, man. Yeah, it's definitely sweet. I drink Diet Coke. Like, I don't remember the last time I had a real soda.
Yuck.
Yeah, I'm Donald Trump. Apparently. I love Diet Coke. Yeah. So I rarely have actual soda with sugar and like real stuff in it. And this is really good. I'm glad mine didn't explode. I don't want to drink it though, because I feel like I'd have to run a marathon to burn off a crowler of cream soda. So,
well, I'm gonna keep track of your running stats after you drink that and make sure that you get rid of it.
Yeah, follow me on Strava at John Holzer. There you go. Everything's public.
Well, let's see. What did everyone like?
Go, Jason.
If I honestly had to pick a favorite, it's the German Pilsner. That's just
Ooh.
a style you don't see a lot.
Yeah.
It's uncommon, and this is a very particularly well-made one. And I would keep that in my fridge all the time if I could get it regularly.
I would agree. I really liked the Pilsner. I loved both the Pils and the Vienna Lager. I find their hazies interesting because, like we've said before, it's difficult to have like stratification between hazy IPAs because they all tend to just blend together and be samesies. And the three that that Josh sent us, they stand on their own merits, and they're definitely different from one another. But I mean, if I had to pick a favorite, the Pils or the lager. I mean, yeah, but the hazies, fantastic.
Mine would be a toss up between the Vienna and the pulp culture, which I think that was the ain't bad because it was not bad. I really tend to, when it comes to like traditional sort of like German or Bavarian, like that sort of style, like honestly, overall, one of my most favorite styles is going to be Oktoberfest. Like it's all every year, like that's the one that I really gravitate towards. And I think because it has that sort of toasty, malty, not like it's got a really nice malt character to it.
Mm-hmm.
And this German style Vienna lager, it definitely satisfies that area that I really enjoy. But I will say, if you're going back to the IPA side, like the pulp culture really it grabbed both sides of what I like from, hazy versus West Coast. So it's a real toss up for me.
I would agree with you on the pulp culture with the hazy IPAs. I think that was, for my taste, the best of the bunch. But again, that's my opinion. If I were to give these to Yvonne, I think she would appreciate the thoughts and notions more than the pulp culture. So overall, thank you very much for the beers, Josh. These were fantastic. This exceeded my expectations. And if we ever make it out to the Midwest, this is definitely a brewery I want to go by because these are all fantastic beers. So thanks a lot, man.
Yes, thank you for sending these over. We really appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right. You can stop recording.
Blip.
You blow your nose, buddy?
I went and had like a sneeze fest. Oh.
Sounds allergic to rhubarb.
Lemonade in the chat asking how funky, Parliament or referring to the cream soda. Parliament? What's Parliament?
Parliament Funkadelic.
I don't know what Parliament is. Let me look it up, I guess.
We got a real going thing going down. Got a whole lot of rhythm go around. We got the funk. Gotta have that funk.
Parliament.
Jason is an endless pit of pop culture knowledge.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. George Clinton and the Parliament Funkadelic.
Well, since I don't know what Parliament is, I guess he's referring to the funk band. So, because I don't see any kind of a drink here. It's not really funky. You could just get like a twinge of funk on the nose. It's something I didn't expect. It could be the rhubarb. I don't know. Maybe rhubarb's funky. But it seems like it comes off like a bacterial kind of smell, like when something ferments in a way it shouldn't. That's what it smelled like. But otherwise, it's fantastic. The flavor is excellent. It's interesting. It's really good.
You should check out Parliament Funkadelic, John.
Have you heard the new Jonah album?
No, I haven't.
I don't know if he released the entire thing because I was on the Kickstarter and I got the record of it, which is everything. Let's see.
Well, you just got real loud.
I did?
Yeah. Like your mic just turned 3 sizes hotter that day.
I don't have the mic.
Weird.
How do I sound now?
Better.
Okay, well.
Okay.
It's called P Songs. Not that sounds bad coming out of my mouth.
Yeah, like songs, like psalms, but songs.
Exactly.
I get the emails about it. I didn't actually Patreon it.
Okay, kids. I'm gonna go pack up shit.
Yeah, I also have to pee. So I'm
Oh, yeah,
You gotta go pee songs. That's songs you sing in the bathroom while you're peeing.
That's right.
Actually, that's
it's
your
on.
new. That should be your new bathroom karaoke.
It's on Apple Music, the entire album. It's really good. Check it out.
Instead of you inviting guests into a car, you invite guests into the bathroom and each choose a urinal and sing karaoke while peeing at a urinal.
I don't want to do that.
Sounds like an excellent new show.
How would you? Okay.
What?
Nothing.
How would you what?
Have you seen the thing for that new Netflix show where they're dressed as animals going on dates?
That shit looks scary beyond all reason.
Yeah,
Wait,
it's
Masked Singer?
No, it's
they
like that, but no.
They like put people in like a horrifying like dolphin horror movie costume. Like they're not supposed to be horrifying, but they are. And then they have them go on like blind, like they're in full like creature makeup, and then they go on blind dates. And it's like that way they can see if it's true love because they don't even know what they look like. They're just a dolphin or a fucking turtle or whatever.
Okay. Nope.
It's fucked up if true.
Nope. Netflix already did that show where like you like didn't get to see each other for the first like several weeks while you tried to like fall in love.
It's called Sexy Beasts. I'm trying to find a video.
Yeah, the thing. The thing to remember is that Netflix is trying to appeal to literally everybody, and so they're gonna have a lot of shows that don't appeal to me, and that's fine.
They're just tagging keywords, dude. They're just like, okay, people like animals and dating shows, and then they literally just take a tag cloud, and somebody writes a show around a tag cloud. That's all they're doing. Like it's all data driven.
I guarantee people like it, and that's fine. It's not for me. I'm gonna watch that documentary about pop music, and the next one is about pop country, and I'm gonna learn.
They literally just like if X number of people watch this in the first X number of days, then we'll just automatically do another season.
Yeah. Hey, do you guys watch Schitt's Creek?
We watched part of the first season and stopped after that.
So
Tim, no, you got to continue. It's really good.
It took me 3 tries to get through the first season. And then once I got to like the back half of the first season, I'm like, oh, this show's actually really good.
Yeah.
It's like once they establish the characters as being insufferable, the show isn't just about them being insufferable all the time, and it becomes a lot better.
Yeah, it won a lot of awards, and rightly so.
It did. Well, we were watching when that won like every award.
It's simply the best.
All right, dudes, I'm gonna take off. Go pack up.
Friends. Hey, Tim, have a good
take Saturday. It easy. See y'all later.
Yeah, I gotta go too.
Sorry, Nagel.
Cheers, bro.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.